Welcome to another Zelda Ocarina of Time video, and in today's video, we're in Kakariko Village taking down the Shadow Temple. This is where you're going to pick up the hover boots, and before you come down here, you're going to want to make sure you go to the bottom of the well to get the Lens of Truth. In this video, we're going to go over where all the gold Skulltulas are, all the treasure chests, and all the items you need. I also made a pit stop out at the Gerudo training grounds to pick up the ice arrows because there's a special animation against this boss if you use them, which I'll show you about later. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. When you first arrive at the Shadow Temple, you're going to see a room with a pedestal and a bunch of unlit torches. Stand on this pedestal and use Din's fire. Now head inside that giant stone tablet you just opened and we'll be in the Shadow Temple. In the first corridor, there's a spot where you need to use your long shot. They're just making sure you went to the Water Temple first. That wall straight ahead is not a real wall. Use your Lens of Truth and you'll see what I'm talking about. It leads to a bigger room. Make a left and head to the other side of this room and there's another fake wall to the left. You want to head through that and through this door. And when we get into this next room, you're going to want to cast Furore's Wind. Straight ahead is another fake wall. Head through it and make a right and look at the faces on the wall in this room. They all have black eyes, except for the one over here that has green eyes. That's how you know it's another fake wall, plus the fact that Navi keeps telling you every 3 seconds. In this room, the door locks behind you. Now don't move anywhere, because if you do, you're going to activate 2 keys in the room. Instead, pull out your hookshot or bow and arrow and take them out first. Now we can move freely around the room with the keys taken care of. Pull out your big Goron sword to take care of the Gibdo, and that'll unlock the room and reveal a chest that has the dungeon map inside for the Shadow Temple. Turn around and head out of this room back into the hallway with the fake walls and the green eyes. You want to make a right and look for the next fake wall with the green eyes. And Navi, we get it. You can stop telling us about the secret walls. In this room, make a right and head to the back right corner. You'll see there's another fake wall we can go through that leads to the door that we need. In this room, we're going to be up against another one of the Dead Hands boss from the bottom of the well, but this time we have the Lens of Truth, so put it on and find the shadowy spot on the ground. When you do, that's where he's hiding. You can use a bomb to make him come out of that shadowy spot so you can attack him. You're not going to be able to attack him right away. You're going to have to wait till he gets close and lowers his head, then do as much damage as you can to his face, because as soon as you start attacking, he turns around and goes back underground, and then we're going to have to use the Lens of Truth to bomb him out again. When he goes back underground, he's not right there. It's random where he's going to end up, so use your Lens of Truth, look around the room until you find another dark spot. Well, hey, we got lucky. It turns out he's right behind us, and we don't need to go near the Dead Hands, so we use a bomb on the ground to lure him out, and then we wait until he brings his pretty little face over, equip our big Goron sword, and cut his face off. This is going to unlock the door and reveal a chest. Inside, we're going to discover the hover boots. While wearing these, if you run off a ledge, you'll hover for a little bit in the air, but it also means you have no traction, so you need to make sure you get a good running start. Now that we have the hover boots, we need to backtrack to the first big room we came across. That's why I used Furore's Wind. In that big room, there's a statue and a bunch of posts around it that all have skulls on top, but if you use the Lens of Truth, you can see not all the skulls are real. You need to identify which is the real post with the skull on top. Then go up to that statue in the middle and push this block until the block and the beak on the statue line up with the appropriate skull, otherwise you'll fall to your death. When the statue is lined up with the right post, the gate across the room will open. Now you want to put on your hover boots and make sure you get a really good running start so that you can make it across this gap and through the gate we just opened. That'll lead to the next area. Ignore the Beamos for now when we get down here. We're going to head through the fake wall on the right and into this room. In this room there's 2 Gibdos, and if you charge up your big Goron sword, stand in between them and do a spin attack, it'll take them both out at the same time. This will unlock the room and reveal a chest for you. Now that you have your compass, we're going to head back through the room with the fake wall and the Beamos, and then straight across the room through another fake wall while we still ignore the Beamos. In this room, we're going to play a really fun game called Collect the 5 Coins without getting your head cut off. I like to grab this one out in the middle and then go hide in this back alcove where the second coin is located. Then we're going to turn around and step just outside of the reach of that giant blade. Then we can use our long shot and get the target that's on the other side of the room that'll bring us up to the box where the other coin is. You'll have to actually turn around and jump off the crate to pick up the ruby, so make sure you time your jump so you don't get hit by those blades. You can also hide in a little alcove to the right that's got another coin. Then when the timing is right, you can leave your safe alcove, pick up the final rupee, and unlock a door in the back of the room. Also, you could roll under these blades or jump over something as the blade comes and the animation will keep you safe. Inside the room, you're going to find a chest. Inside the chest, we'll get the key that we need. Now that you have the small key, we can leave this room. And it's finally time to take care of the Beamos out here, so grab a bomb, don't get too close, throw the bomb at him, and that'll destroy the Beamos for you. The Beamos will drop some bombs for you. That's your clue that this wall over here is breakable with a bomb. Before we leave, see how Navi's hanging out in the middle of the room and all green? That's your sign to pull out the ocarina and play the Song of Storms. That, my friends, is a giant fairy. You can come back here at any point, play the Song of Storms, and another one will appear. They refill 8 heart pieces and your magic meter, but you can't put them in a bottle. Now let's use this key. This locked door is going to lead to what I like to call Spider Hallway. Just watch your step as you're going down this hall, as giant Skulltulas will pop down from the ceiling to try to get you. Once you take care of 3 of them, turn the corner, you'll see some gillies, and in between the gillies there'll be one more spider to take care of. Make your way out of the hallway and you'll be in a new room that's got some gaps to jump over and some gillies to dodge. I thought this part was easier without hover boots. For now, we're going to ignore this Stalfos and jump off to the left where there's an invisible ledge. Keep going on this path over to the left. You can use your magic lens to see there's more ledges for you to jump to. Then we want to go through this door. When you go through the door, head down the hall until you get to a big room, but don't go into it. There's a big giant invisible scythe statue in the middle of the room. There's also 3 keyses we don't want to activate, so from the doorway, use your bow and arrow to take them all out. Straight across the way, you'll see a like. We're going to use a fire arrow to take him out, so we're only using 1 arrow. Killing everyone opened a smaller room on the other side of this big room, so use your lens of truth so you don't get your head cut off and make your way across to that little room. Using the lens of truth, you can see there's a treasure chest on the right hand side here that's invisible. Open it up and snag yourself a couple arrows. On the other side of the room, there's a chest that's not invisible. In here, we'll score a blue rupee. But the real reason we came in this room is the gold Skulltula in the back, so make sure you kill it and collect a token to prove you killed it. Now that we've collected the gold Skulltula, we can head back to the other room we were just in. Make your way back across those invisible platforms, and this time when we get to the platform with the Stalfos on it, you want to stay and take him out. Notice here how Navi turned green again? Well, that's your clue to pull out your ocarina and play the Song of Storms, because there's another giant fairy here, and this time you can see it refill my hearts and my magic meter. The platform next to this one is on chains and it lowers. When it's at its lowest point, you want to jump onto it, wait for it to raise up, and then we can jump off of it to get over to this new area. But don't go that way. We want to head to the silver rupees because it's your favorite game to collect the 5 rupees. Now, 2 of these rupees are going to be in the outside of these spinning spikes, and 2 of the rupees are going to be in between the spinning spikes, but the last one is underneath that Beamos. So pull out a bomb, throw it at the Beamos from a safe distance, and then when he's dead, we can go pick up the silver rupee he left behind, and that'll unlock the gate for us. Head through that door and down the hall till we get to a bigger room that has an invisible block in the side of the wall. You can use your lens of truth to see it. Pull that block out of the wall and then you want to start pushing it underneath the spikes until it's blocking both giant spike pieces. With both the spikes blocked, if you look around, there's a couple little hidden rooms. One of them has a chest with some arrows, and on the other side there's a room with a gold Skulltula. Make sure you kill it and collect the token it leaves behind. Now head back to that block we were pushing, but get on the other side of it and keep pulling it till you get to this side of the room. There's a ledge we can stand on to get up on top of the block and then on top of this ledge. From up on this platform, we can turn around and jump on this spike trap and use it as a bridge to get to the next area that has a chest with a blue rupee. In the same area, turn around and stand on this switch over here to make a chest drop on the other side of the room. Now we can turn around and use this other spike trap as a bridge to get to the new area where the chest dropped. Inside this chest, we'll find the small key that we need to get through the locked door in the other room. So now we're going to head back down the hallway, out past the Beamos and the spike guys, and then when we get to this spot that we jumped onto the ledge, head towards the gilly. From here, if you put on your magic lens of truth, you can see there's some invisible platforms, and while you don't necessarily have to use the hover boots, I would use the hover boots here just to make it a little easier. Make your way across to the locked door and we'll go through it. In this room, it's time for another exciting round of collect the 5 silver rupees. There's also invisible spikes on the ground, but if you have your hover boots on, you'll walk right over these spikes. Then hookshot over to that spot on the wall, and when you connect, you'll drop straight down into the silver rupee. There's also 2 redeads in this room. I think I called it a Gibdo earlier, but these are the redeads. Take them both out and a chest will appear in the middle of the room. Then open the chest to collect 5 more rupees. On the other side of the room, there's another hookshot spot you can go to that lands you on an invisible ledge. Walking off this ledge with your hover boots is how we collect this coin to open the door. Have a ready weapon when you go to this room. There's some torches above you that are going to light some keys on fire that are coming right at you. There's 2 more keys in this room at the top of the stairs, and we don't want to wake them up, so we're going to stop at the second to last step and then swap over to our hookshot to take them out. In In the middle of the room is a big skull with blue flames coming out of it. You want to throw one of your bombs into it, that'll destroy the skull, and what's left behind is a small key we can use in the last room that we were in. There's also a gold Skulltula on the wall that was hidden by that giant skull vase. Make sure you kill it and collect the token it leaves before we leave this room. Back in the main room, switch to your lens of truth and look at the ceiling above the locked door. You can see there's a hookshot spot that we can reach with our long shot. Then we can go through the locked door with the key we just got. This leads to a long hallway that has blade traps on the floor, fans trying to blow you off course, Skulltulas coming out of the ceiling. You want to put on your metal boots to get around all this, and you can use your long shot here at the end into that wood to get past the last fan. Keep your metal boots on as you walk down this last path and watch out from the fire that gets shot from the eyeball. You don't really need to go in this room, but when you do, there are 2 redeads. You can use your sword spinning attack to take them both out and then read a note on the wall. The note says go back into the hallway, put on your hover boots, and use the lens to see the fan can blow you to a secret door. In this next room, you're up against 2 blade traps and 2 Gibdos. Do a spin attack with the big Goron sword to take out both Gibdos, and that'll reveal a chest, but this chest doesn't have the small key we need, it has a blue rupee. When you first enter the room, to the right there's a dirt pile, and you can blow this dirt pile up with a bomb. Then underneath that dirt pile, if you use the lens of truth, you'll see there was a hidden chest. This chest has the small key we need. Now we can head through that locked door to a room that has a giant block to your left. Pull the block away from the wall and push it up over to this ladder. Once it's in place, you can climb the block and climb the ladder to jump on this giant ship with the Triforce. Now head to the front. Then pull out your ocarina to play the Scarecrow's song. This will make Pierre appear across the way on top of where that block was. Now we can use our long shot to make our way over to Pierre, where there's a couple different recovery hearts. More importantly, there's a gold Skulltula on the wall, so make sure you kill it and collect the token before we head back to the boat. Once you get back to the boat, stand on the Triforce symbol on it, pull out your ocarina again, but this time play Zelda's Lullaby. This will take you to the other side of the temple. While you're riding the ship with wheels that's powered by a flute, you're going to be ambushed by 2 Stalfoses, so make sure you take care of them both before we get to the other side. Because when you do, you're going to have to abandon ship. I guess this boat that has hexagon wheels doesn't float. Before we cross the next river, head through the door to your right. This room has invisible walls that you can see with the lens of truth. It also has 3 doors, and what we want to do is navigate around to the left-hand side as much as we can till we make it to the next door. Also watch out for the wall masters running around. In this room, we're up against an invisible wall master that you can use your lens of truth to see, but you don't need to have your lens of truth on to hit him. However, he drops a lot of magic, so you might as well keep it on for the entire fight. Inside the chest, we'll find the small key that we need. When you leave this room, we're going to do the same thing we did last time we were in this room, which is follow it to the left-hand side around the invisible walls and the wall masters till we come to the next door on the left-hand side. When you get into the room, head up the stairs, and when you get to the top, turn around with your bombs and start destroying the big skull statues in the middle. You don't have to break these skull statues to advance in the temple, it's just if you want some extra cash. The main reason we came in here anyways is because behind the skull statues there's another gold Skulltula on the wall, so kill it and collect the token it leaves to prove you did. Now we can leave this room, and when we get into the main room, just like we did every other time, we're going to follow to the left hand side using our lens of truth and ignoring the wall masters till we get to the next door. It's a trap! Head into the center of the room and use Din's fire. To the right of the room, you'll find the boss key chest, guarded by a redead. And on the left side of this room, you'll find another redead who's guarding a chest. This chest, you'll find another blue rupee. Leave this room, stick to the left-hand side, and the next door you come across will lead us back to the area where the ship sank. Then up ahead on the right, look across the next river, and you'll see a group of bombs we can shoot with an arrow. Now you have a bridge to cross the second river, and before we go through the exit door, head over to that stone and you'll notice Navi turn green. Now pull out your ocarina and play the Song of Time. The time block makes it so we can get up to the ledge with the recovery heart, and when we do, Navi turns green again off in the distance, so pull out your ocarina and this time play the Scarecrow song. That makes Pierre appear up on the ledge. Now we can use our long shot to get up onto this ledge, which just has a couple recovery hearts. So if you don't need the recovery hearts, you can ignore that part and just go through the locked door on the other side of the river. This leads to a room that appears to be empty, but it's not. Use your lens of truth and you can see there's some ledges, and put on your hover boots to make this easier. Plus, you're going to need the hover boots for the boss fight, which is right behind this door. Before coming to this temple, I went to the desert to get ice arrows, and here's why. Shoot one of the hands with an ice arrow, it'll freeze, and the other hand will be distracted trying to free it. Now we can use our lens of truth and our long shot to poke this guy in the eye, and then when he falls, pull out your big Goron sword and go to town. Plus, he always drops magic afterwards. We're gonna do this and rinse and repeat. And that, my friends, is how we defeat the Shadow Temple and collect all the items in it. Now, before you leave through the portal, don't forget to go pick up your heart container, because you can totally leave without it. If you have any comments, tips, strategies, or suggestions for the Shadow Temple, please leave them in the comments below, and next time we'll be taking down the Spirit Temple. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey.